go for launch.
5.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
4.
My friend, we cannot keep this a secret any longer.
This whole thing is insane.
3.
Quiet, please. I am analyzing.
Where's the kaboom?
2.
There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
1.
Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future. You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Greetings, my fellow galactic travelers, and welcome back to Planet 8. This is your Mission Commander Larry speaking to you from our hidden base. Chief Engineer Bob is here by my side as always in the command center, and circling Planet 8 in our orbital spy satellite is Reconnaissance Officer Karen.
Hello and welcome back to Planet 8. On this episode, we're going to be taking a deep dive into things that we really enjoyed or maybe we missed during the past year, 2022. Straight away, we're going to kick it over to Chief Engineer Bob. Bob, why don't you give us a rundown of what we'll be talking about today?
Well, I decided to go online and let my fingers do the Googling. And I came up with a list of movies that we may or may not want to talk about. And I also did a list of TV shows and streaming shows and whatever. So, but I figured we'd start off with movies. And I could kind of go down the list and we can kind of jump in like, hey, I saw that. I didn't see that. It was good. Okay. It was crap. Whatever. We were talking before the show about one of our heroes, J. Jonah Jameson, and the one Spider-Man movie where he's looking at Peter Parker's photos and he's sitting there going, crap, 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 yeah. Mega crap, crap. Hopefully it's not going to be like that, but well, we'll see. Anyway, going down the list of movies, the first one that came up was The Batman.
Ah, yes.
Which I think we talked about a little bit. I don't think we did an episode on it, but I think we did talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't do an episode, but
we did talk about it.
But I think all three of us saw it, though.
Yes.
We did. Let's have fun. Karen, what did you think of the Batman?
Well, I hate to disappoint you. I liked it.
What?
I did. I think it's too long. This is my usual thought on films lately, that they're all too long because everybody wants to make a 3-hour movie nowadays. And I think most of the time They only have the content for a 2-hour movie.
If you can't tell a story in 90 minutes, it ain't worth telling, right?
Look at the original King Kong. It's like 90 minutes. It's got everything you need, and the big monkey dies, and everybody cries. So,
well, look at the old Universal movies. A lot of those are like an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I liked the Batman. I thought it was interesting. I can't say it was a favorite movie of mine this year. I was pleased to see a Batman doing detective work. That's one of the things I've kind of missed in a lot of these Batman films, because I always think of the Batman as being, a really smart guy who's able to figure things out rather than just like punch his way through things or growl at people all the time. So that aspect of it I really liked. But I thought it just felt very cold to me. The whole thing was just kind of, I don't know. It didn't pull me in on an emotional level per se. So yeah, I thought it was interesting, but it didn't wow me particularly.
How about you, Chief?
I liked it for the reasons Karen did. I also liked Robert Pattinson as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. Sometimes you get these actors and it's like, hey, this guy makes a great Bruce Wayne, but not so good a Batman. Or this one makes a good Batman, but not so good a Bruce Wayne. I thought he had a pretty good balance between the two. And I kind of like the optimistic ending to the film, where he realizes that Batman just can't be a dark vigilante of the night. He has to actually be an example to the people of Gotham City, and he has to give them hope. And hopefully that leads into the next film, if there is one.
God knows what's going to happen with anything.
I thought they left Batman universe. In a good place at the end there.
Very true. Very true. Karen, you bring up a good point. Before I give my take on Batman, poor Henry Cavill. I mean, I'm back as Superman, the fans, and then a month later, well, I'm not, nor will I be ever again. I was talking with a friend of the show, Jay, who does our design work for our shirts and logos and stuff. And James Gunn's brother or cousin did that Brightburn movie. And we've talked about that before. What if Superman was bad or had evil intentions? That was a damn good movie. Disturbing, but a damn good movie. Guardians, who knew Guardians could be as entertaining as it was? But then Suicide Squad 2, I don't know. So, yeah, who knows what's going to happen with the DCU. On that note, I fall into that category, Bob. I loved his Batman, didn't care for his Bruce Wayne. The Penguin, I don't know. I just, Colin Farrell's a great actor, but I don't know that he did his best in this.
Well, I think like Penguin in this, and if you watch the Gotham TV show,
right?
Yeah, they're totally different than your typical Burgess Meredith type Penguin. Yeah. But I mean, Penguin in the Batman is more like just a big mob boss.
Yeah,
nothing more, nothing
like
less.
You said, was kind of like the Gotham series, but in any case, I did not buy the Blu-ray. But I would see a sequel if it came out. So not my favorite movie of 2022, but definitely entertaining.
Well, there you go. So the next one on the list is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Loved it.
Michelle Yeoh at her best.
Sorry to jump the gun, kids, but this movie was just... I was so anxious to see it when I saw the first trailer. I think it was on Twitter. And they did not disappoint. Well acted, good story, great guest stars. Michelle Yeoh is just a phenom of cinema. We've gone to a lot of Hong Kong film festivals and seen her work over the years. I loved it.
And who knew that Jamie Lee Curtis could be such a good badass?
Yes, I agree. And bringing back, what's his name? Mr. Kwan, Indiana Jones' friend, Short Round, Goonies. Yeah. Great. God, that whole dialogue that they had about, even if we bought a laundromat and, struggled paying taxes, I'd still find you. And, just great movie.
Well, I mean, sometimes when movies jump around from, for lack of a better word, multiverse to multiverse or dimension to dimension or what have you, or time travel, it tends to be a big mess. But this one handled it really well.
I agree.
Where everything tied into everything else.
Right. The other thing I like is we will not see a sequel to this film.
Well, yeah.
It is its own story, which is what the first Matrix movie should have been. But anyway.
That's what a lot of movies should have been. But
I will say that.
Oh, boy.
I saw the first 30 minutes of this movie when I was in Canada, not in a theater, in someone's home. And I just couldn't get into it.
Well, see, that's because you saw the Canadian version.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Everything was like going a different direction. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't find it funny. I just didn't. And I like Michelle Yeoh. I think she's great, but it just didn't do anything for me. Now, this was also after a lot of travel and other stuff going on, losing my luggage. So maybe I wasn't in the frame of mind to watch it. I don't know. Because, I hear everybody else just, exclaiming over it. But, yeah.
Well, that's the main reason I saw the film, because so many people were saying how good it was.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I got to see this. Not that,
What's going to happen, Walker? Much like Star Trek Enterprise, 10 years from now, you're going to sit down and watch it and be like, wow, what a great movie.
I'll be buying the technical manual for everything's right here all at once.
All right, so moving along.
Yes.
The next one that came out was Morbius. Did anyone see Morbius?
Did not see.
Did not. I did.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Hey, it was an enjoyable little movie. I don't know really what to think about Sony cranking out Spider-Man's villains as heroes. Whether it's Morbius or Venom, or I think Kraven's coming up. It's like, I want to see Kraven in a Spider-Man movie.
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing Morbius in a Spider-Man movie. But here he is, he's kind of the anti-hero. But, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, it was probably around a 5. But I didn't dislike it. But I didn't come out going, wow, man, that was great. I want to see more of Spider-Man's villains as heroes.
Well, and they're even planning to do things like make a movie with Madam Web and some of these more obscure. It's just like, oh my God, the cash grab is unbelievable.
Sony, I think Sony is so desperate to make their MCU. All they really have is Spider-Man. So they're spinning off, no pun intended, spinning off all these movies with Spider-Man's villains or characters or whatever.
Yeah.
And eventually, I guess they'll bring them all together and it'll be a big multiverse thing or whatever. But
they kind of tried to do that with Andrew Garfield. Actually, with Sam Raimi's film as well. It kind of introduced some of the other villains, but they didn't make them good guys. They were villains within a Spider-Man movie.
Which is what they are meant to be.
Yeah, for the Sinister Six or whatever. It's like, okay, I may not have appreciated like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man that much, but I could appreciate what they were trying to do. This whole thing with I don't get the Venom movies. I don't. Yeah. And I like the Venom. Carnage too. And Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Get the bleep out of here. I mean, anyway, okay.
When you look at like Spider-Man and Batman have the best rogues gallery of any character in any comic book.
I would say the Flash as well.
But if you take those two, but now you're taking Spider-Man and you're diluting his whole rogues gallery by having them out in movies that he's not in.
Yeah.
Now I was okay with Sandman in the what was it, Spider-Man 3, the Raimi. He was not necessarily a villainous bad guy. He was a bad guy for the wrong reasons, but he still had a heart. I mean,
and he was back in No Way Home.
Yeah, he was. He was.
But do these characters really merit their own films? I mean, I don't think so.
I agree with you, Walker. So let's go next on the list, Bob.
Okay, next on the list. And that would be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I believe we did do an episode on.
We did do an episode on.
So go back and listen to that.
I will just say that I watched it again over the holidays.
Yes.
I still really like it. And I know a lot of people, it's become a thing to say, oh, it's just a crappy movie and there wasn't enough multiverse in the movie and all this other stuff. I just thought it was a really good film. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the angle it put on Doctor Strange and the things he had to overcome in his his own personality.
Well, I mean, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, she stole the whole movie.
Yeah, well,
and
there was a
most
lot
of it.
Yeah, there was a lot going on that they had to resolve from WandaVision, I think. And I think one of the things, and this is kind of going a little bit off track, I was thinking today about, because I watched the Hawkeye series the last couple of days again, and thinking about how good that was and how much spoiler, because we're going to go into TV shows next, but I was dissatisfied with most of the MCU TV shows this year. I think a lot of the stuff that picked up on the threads of things that happened because of the Infinity War or Endgame, whatever you want to call it, the stuff with Thanos, were really the most interesting films or TV shows. So like WandaVision, and then even Doctor Strange is kind of picking up on, those things that happened. The Hawkeye show picked up on some of those things that happened. So not ignoring the results of what happened, when they fought Thanos and when they brought back the people and everything else. I think those things felt more meaningful and interesting than a lot of the other stuff we got from Marvel in the last year or so.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of reserve my opinion until, the movies we're getting now are post-Thanos and pre-Kang, right? So once Kang the Conqueror comes in, which is, technically he came in at the end of Loki, but his first big role in the movies is going to be in Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that.
Then I think things will start picking up, because that's going to start leading into the 2 or 3 new Avengers movies that are coming eventually. Mm-hmm. And so we'll see, what happens there. But really, and I was talking about this with somebody online recently, the fact that Marvel will not recast its characters. I mean, look at how many Batmans and Bruce Waynes there have been. Look at how many times they change Bond. And people go with the flow. So you got 2 of your main characters, Iron Man and Captain America, Steve Rogers, Captain America anyway, that they'll never use again because Robert Downey Jr. and, Chris Evans don't want to do the roles anymore. Well, why not recast? Because a lot of these movies, you'd have much more interest if Iron Man was in them, Captain America was in them. Who's going to be the big star to carry this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man is the face of the Marvel comics, but is he enough of a character in the MCU to be able to carry these movies like a Cap or Iron Man did?
Even in the comics, you have like Ben Parker taking over for a Spider-Man, the clone, for like a year or whatever. Miles Morales, I think, is a good example of someone other than Peter Parker being able to be the Spider-Man. Maybe not that version of Spider-Man, but...
Well, I mean, like Sam Wilson's going to be Captain America, but, you've invested all this time in the character of Steve Rogers. And I have nothing against Sam Wilson as Captain America. More power to him. I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier and how he became Captain America. But you'd still like to see more Steve Rogers, or you'd like to see more Tony Stark instead of Ironheart or whoever,
They have time travel, so they could always bring, if they wanted to, they could bring those characters back and do some story with them. Like, here's what happened with Captain America fighting in World War II. Or, the multiverse is another way to do it.
Well, and again, we saw Captain Carter. Falcon doesn't have the super soldier serum. Captain Carter does, from a different, Earth. That was kind of the fun of the What If books. Well, in the series too, I guess. But, here's the problem that, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not a problem. We'll see.
Recast them, keep them going. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Back to Doctor Strange. I was talking with Jay. The issue I think I have with Doctor Strange now, and I should watch it again, is Scarlet Witch started off as a villain. Age of Ultron became a good person in Avengers 3, and then WandaVision is still one of my favorite Marvel shows. Just beautifully done. And then she becomes like a Thanos type villain in the Doctor Strange movie, where she was willing to kill, maim, and, man, woman, and child to reach her goal. And, part of the story that I enjoyed in WandaVision, was this type of depression that she had. And she's been oppressing these feelings and stuff. And I guess you could become evil.
Well, it was the Darkhold, right? She's already depressed and unhappy, and then this, demonic book influences her, and ultimately at the end she does overcome it. When she's confronted with the children. Yeah.
And then, Doctor Strange has his third eye because of his use of the Darkhold. So, and going back to and I'm sure we'll cover it, the What If series is that evil version of Strange that he was just so possessed by his desire to achieve a goal. He spent centuries literally absorbing these demons' powers to achieve his means. So I guess heroes can become evil. It was hard to watch. Now, one of the things that I loved, and like Bob said, check out our podcast on Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, was Professor X, Captain Carter. We got to see a version of Mr. Fantastic. Will this be the Mr. Fantastic in the MCU's Fantastic Four? Don't know. Nobody's talking. So we'll see.
He also had Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel.
That was cool.
That's right. Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel.
Because I liked her. I mean, in the comics, she was Captain Marvel for quite a while. And then had to undergo name changes and stuff.
Yeah.
And Larry's man crush.
Oh.
Anson Mount.
That's right.
As Black Bolt.
Yeah. So,
the whole horror element too. I because I like horror films, I really enjoyed. I love the Evil Dead movies and the other Raimi type films. So I had no problem with the horror element in the end of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that either. That was kind of cool. I didn't buy the Blu-ray though. Probably because it's streaming on Disney Plus, but I'll go see more Doctor Strange. I enjoy the character, enjoy the films.
All right, so next one on the list, Jurassic World Dominion.
Crap.
Didn't see it.
crap, mega crap. Karen, did you actually see it, or are you just crapping on it for fun?
I did see it. I went to the theater.
I did see it as well.
Yeah, I'm glad I got popcorn and a soda. That saved the evening. It just, it just has devolved. I mean, you think of the first Jurassic Park and what a great film that was. And then how it's sort of devolved into let's throw all these different things into it. And, we need extra dinosaurs. We need this and that. And it's just kind of become overly plotted and nonsensical and just, crap.
Well, I mean, every movie, too, has to have an ultra mega super Rex type dinosaur.
Right. Like a Tyrannosaurus Rex isn't enough. Guys, it's enough. It's enough.
We need the Mega Rex. But, I mean, I enjoyed it more than Karen did. I think maybe because I kind of know how these movies have gone since the first. I mean, I will say the first is definitely absolutely a classic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go in expecting any of these other movies to equal that, well, it'll be crap. But, if you go in there, is this going to be on a par with Jurassic Park 3? Then, okay, maybe it was. And You can kind of enjoy it as a popcorn movie on that level.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Give it a try. You got to be the tiebreaker here.
We tried watching it at home, and I fell asleep within the first half hour.
There you go.
So, next.
All right, next. And we did do an episode on this where we crapped all over it. Was Thor: Love and Thunder.
Before we get into that, rather than another Jurassic Park movie, give me a reimagined Valley of Gwangi, and I'm there.
Oh, that would be cool.
Well, that was Jurassic Park 2, right?
Well, I guess in a way. Okay, Chief, please forgive me. Continue.
Thor: Love and Thunder. We can talk about it, or we can pass and just say.
I have no desire to ever talk about that film ever again.
All right.
Me neither.
So that means Thor: Love and Thunder gets a nope.
Nope.
And the next movie on the list is Nope.
I didn't see it, but
no,
you guys liked it a lot, so I
loved
need to
it.
watch
I think that was the best movie of the year right there. Nope.
Bob, I think to me it's that and Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I mean, if you go off the genre grid, you can make a case for like Top Gun Maverick.
That's my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
But if we keep with genre stuff, then I would say Nope was probably the best of the bunch for that last year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Jordan Peele movie. Yes, the big balloon creature at the end was probably not as good as it could have been, but I think the whole build up.
I agree.
Don't give too much away because I still have to stream it at some point here.
Okay.
Stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 for a minute. But I mean, like I say, the whole build up, the characters were good. You really cared about these characters, and
some of them were very strange, and that helped the feel of the film.
And the fact that it took place out on a ranch, where these people are raising stunt horses for movies. It's very good, and it's always nice to see Glenn. That he's still alive and didn't really get his head bashed in. Stephen Yeun is in the movie. I mean, I would say go see it.
I agree.
See it however you got to see it. The next one, and we did an episode on this one, and it was technically not, it was supposed to be a theatrical movie, but it ended up going straight to streaming, was Prey.
Ah, yeah. That was good.
But it was
a good movie.
It would have been good enough to be in the theater. So, I mean, go back and listen to the episode on Prey.
I mean,
I think we all really enjoyed it.
Probably the best Predator movie since Predator 2. So.
Yep. I agree with that.
Now, the next one, I don't know if anyone's seen it except me here. Maybe Larry. Black Adam.
Oh, Black Adam. Yes, I did see it.
Yeah, I watched it the other night.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, then we've all seen it. I thought it was kind of typical superhero fare. And maybe before all the modern superhero movies came out, if it was released then, it would have been like, wow, that was cool. But I don't think there was really anything in it that we haven't seen in God knows how many other superhero movies that have come out.
I hate to say it, but like The Rock's whole routine has gotten kind of boring. And like also apparently he has this whole thing in his contract that he can't lose a fight. And so like it's silly. And every one of the fights, watching him, like he's just like, he's untouchable and he never comes close to getting hurt in any of these fights. Black Adam is completely invincible and unstoppable, and it's like it's boring. It's just boring.
Well, I think that was also in his wrestling contract too, right?
Probably. I guess it's in like all the Fast 5 or whatever those movies are. Fast and the Furious, whatever. But I mean, some of the things were kind of neat to see, like Dr. Fate and Hawkman and Atom Smasher. That was kind of cool, but they're just all sort of wasted in the film. And I don't know, it was just very kind of mediocre. You know, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good.
I thought the best part of the entire movie was the mid-credit sequence.
Oh, the Superman?
Where Superman comes in. And then James Gunn came in and said, crap, get him out.
Yeah.
Fire him.
I don't have a man crush on The Rock, but I've followed his wrestling career and his acting career. And, you know, just because he's in a movie, I won't go see it. But I was looking forward to this. I won't say I was disappointed, but little things like bug me. And, you know, here he was, this god among men from Kahndaq, and everyone's like, oh, this is our hero from way before, with this Kahndakian accent. And The Rock's just like, yeah, we'll just roll with it, brother. And it had, you know, and that removes me from, you know, what The Rock is, or, you know, Black Adam is doing and stuff. And, you know, I sometimes with these superhero movies, and I'm not a super fan of Black Adam in the comics, but I'm familiar with the Shazam and Black Adam, and I just didn't buy The Rock's portrayal of the character. It was more The Rock to me than it was Black Adam.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, I think Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, born and raised in Hayward, California, where I used to live. You know, when he's in a movie, he's The Rock.
Yeah.
Just like when Sean Connery was in a movie, he was Sean Connery. Even if he was a Russian submarine commander, he would he would still have the Welsh accent, you know.
Yeah.
But or even like Clint Eastwood. As great as Clint Eastwood is, when he's in a movie, he's Clint Eastwood. So, you know, The Rock is The Rock, but yeah, I mean, like I say, it was just kind of typical superhero fare. Nothing spectacular, but
I will say I went to go see it after I found out what the post-credit screen was, so I could see the post-credit screen. And then I was deeply disappointed to hear the news that there will be no Superman 2 nor Superman films. So I feel like I saw Black Adam for no reason. No disrespect.
I think The Rock had all these grand plans for Black Adam.
Yeah.
He was going to do all these different movies. The Superman was going to be around and everything else was going to happen. And then when James Gunn took over, he kind of squashed all that.
Yep.
And,
he has been talking about playing Black Adam for like 15 years. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. And really, I mean, you know, he's not over the hill, but he's up there now. And this should have happened, you know, several years ago, for him to portray this character. Because, you know, he's still looking at like he's in decent shape, although I question how some of that is obtained. But, yeah, it's like, you know, you don't want to start a series of action-based films when you're like in your 50s. You want to do it, you know, earlier. And I don't know what took them so long with this Black Adam thing. I really don't. But of course, the point is moot now, because who knows what the DC universe will look like in the next couple of years.
So if we shy away from the DC universe, go back to the MCU, the next one would be Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I think kind of falls into my category of just recast the characters. I mean, okay, it was done out of respect for Mr. Boseman and the fact that he had this tragic death and all that. But again, you know, you introduced this character, he was important to the MCU, and now, boom, you can't recast him, he can't be in there. Although there's a little piece at the end. Did you guys see it or what?
Yeah.
There's a little piece at the end which kind of hints at T'Challa will return type of thing. But that won't be for what, 10, 15 years or something?
At least.
Yeah, I really kind of wish they had just recast, because I think that character is so important to the Marvel Universe and to fans, too. I really think he has a lot of meaning to fans. I know that for the filmmakers, they felt like they would somehow be dishonoring him by recasting somebody else. But man, I don't know. I felt like that was a film without a center, and I guess it was, because they didn't have their star. And they did a lot of good work in it, but boy, it was, again, I think too long.
Well, he has suffered a death off screen.
Right.
Before the movie started, basically.
And
yeah.
I don't know. I probably need to see it again. I only saw it once, but it felt overly long, too many different dangling plots, and yeah, just, I don't know. It felt a bit of a mess to me.
My father-in-law loved it. He absolutely loved it. I liked it more than Love and Thunder, if that.
Yeah, there you
go. Look, it had two handicaps going in. You lost your star to a tragic death, and it's a sequel. And sequels are seldomly as popular as the first movie. There are always exceptions. Star Trek II, Empire Strikes Back, as good as Star Wars. Etc. So going into this, one of the problems I have with Marvel movies now is we have to have a side character introduced that will either be in another movie or a TV show. And so this Ironheart person just manifests and, was responsible for this, that, and the other. And I was okay with Shuri becoming Black Panther, no problem. One of the things, and it's interesting to see where they would have gone with this had Chadwick not passed away, because they destroyed the plant that gives the Black Panther power. They destroyed, the priest who did the ceremony, and so what would have happened? What Shuri had to do was recreate the plant, and it's too bad that Angela Bassett's character was sacrificed in this movie for no real reason to me. The CIA agent, I can't think of his name, was the highlight for me of this film.
But why was he even involved? I mean,
comedy relief. He was funny to me. I enjoyed his recapping certain plot points and things.
See, now bringing the funny part up, you should mention that. That was my big complaint of the MCU, and especially Thor: Love and Thunder, was all the slapstick comedy routine stuff. And luckily, Doctor Strange and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever at least did not have that part in there.
Right.
They were at least played somewhat straightforward.
I'm of the opinion you can have a little ha-ha here and there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes Marvel
in
Marvel.
In Avengers, when Thor goes to intercept Loki and Iron Man, flies out after him, then Cap's going to jump out of the Quinjet, and Black Widow's like, Cap, those are gods. Don't know what they are, but it doesn't look like they dress like a god or something. Line like that.
I don't think God dresses like that or something like that.
Yeah. Chuckle, haha. Thor: Love and Thunder was just ridiculous. It was, anyway. He wasn't. This guy wasn't Ben Kingsley funny. Ben Kingsley in Shang-Chi was hilarious to me. I loved his character and his lines.
Yeah. Well, see, when you have like one isolated character for, quote, comic relief, that's one thing. But when the main character is comic relief, or comic, everybody's comic relief, then you got a problem.
I like the guy in Ant-Man 2 when he recapped. So then I said, hey, you know what? You need to go get it. And he was like, yo, dude, I'm lactose intolerant. And they have the different actors given. That is brilliant. So, Namor, I understand why they did it. I don't know. That didn't work for me. That aspect.
I mean, I mean, how difficult it must have been to separate him basically from Aquaman, and also not making him look like a flying Spock. And it's like you have to basically reinvent the character one way or another.
Yeah. All I can say is I hope they don't revamp Doctor Doom as much as they did Namor.
Oh my God, no.
I don't think there's any reason to, though.
Well, there was no reason to touch Namor, but there were
two big reasons. I just mentioned them.
Well,
if Aquaman had not come out in the DC universe, then yeah, they could have had him as the King of Atlantis and everything else. But even though, Submariner came out before Aquaman, right?
Yep.
Timely Comics back in the 30s, 40s, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as the general audience now, they think of Atlantis and a guy from under the water. First thing comes to mind is Aquaman. So if you do the same thing in the MCU, they're just copying Aquaman.
I mean, to be honest, the average person probably doesn't know that Atlantis comes from Greek myth. They probably just, that's Aquaman's place.
Yeah.
That's right, baby! So.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been better just to leave Namor out of everything.
Yeah.
Or maybe hold him back until Fantastic Four.
We almost make Namor Russian, Namorsky. But it's a bad idea, we figure.
That's okay. Dr. Doom will be Greek, I tell you. His name will be Stavros. Okay, well, I digress. Chief,
what's next?
Next movie. I have not seen it, nor will I see it. Because the first movie bored the crap out of me. And that would be Avatar: The Way of Water.
Did not see.
Larry, did not see?
Did not see.
All right, pass.
3 hours. I don't go see movie that is 3 hours. I don't want to see 3 hours. It's too long.
Yeah,
I have to go bathroom. No,
I did mention before the episode, though, that Debbie and I decided to watch some movie from 2022 that we hadn't seen yet, since we're talking about 2022 movies. And we watched Bullet Train last night with Brad Pitt. And that was a kick. I really enjoyed it. It's not, some big heavy movie, but, it's action, adventure. There is comedy in it, but, it's handled well.
Are there aliens and superheroes in it?
No, unfortunately there wasn't, but...
Damn it.
Gorillas and robots?
No, but there was, kung fu samurai explosions.
So that kind of sounds like that Maverick movie Walker loved.
I love that movie. And you know what? I got to say, it's all very much paint by numbers, but it's executed so well. Everybody on that movie, from the director to the grip to the food caterers, they all knew exactly what they needed to do to make an outstanding film.
The caterers.
they had it all figured out. And even though it's you're sitting there and you're kind of okay, they're kind of moving it in this direction. It's going to go this way. Oh, he's going to get shot down. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It didn't matter because it was all done so well, so perfectly.
Yeah.
And everything was the fact that they did have real jets and they were flying real jets and photographing real jets. It's so much better than the CGI. Just so much better. I appreciate it so much.
It was all thanks to the key grip and the best boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the catering.
Yeah.
And Bob, based on that stellar review, Jasmine and I are going to move that movie a little higher on our to-watch list.
You haven't seen it
You
yet?
haven't seen it?
Nope, haven't seen it
Good.
yet.
Oh,
We
dear.
saw Maverick. We haven't seen the Brad Pitt film.
Oh, Bullet Train? Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely check out Bullet Train. A lot of fun. The only other movie I have, which I'm sure you guys haven't seen, is Shin Ultraman. But
Nope.
I will reserve that is coming out as a Fathom event on January 11th and 12th. So go see that. Then I'll talk about it. So
that'll be on your 2023 best of list.
That's right. Shall we move on to TV?
TV.
Let us.
All right. Well, the first one I have, which I know Larry hasn't seen. I don't know if Karen watched it. That would be basically season 3 of The Orville.
I did.
Which moved over to Hulu with a bigger budget and a new name, The Orville New Horizons. And again, I think they did a great job continually making that must-see TV and hopefully season 4 see TV.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't heard any word yet about whether it's renewed or not. But it's funny because at first, I tried to watch it when it first came out, the first season, and it was like, oh, this is too jokey. But I know you kept saying, no, watch it. It gets better. And so I did. And it really is just like a complete love letter to next generation. And it got really good. I mean, and they have a lot of very strong science fiction stories that they put in there, where people have to make a lot of difficult decisions.
Oh, they do. I mean, it's excellent. I think, Seth MacFarlane couldn't go to a network and say, hey, I'm going to do a Star Trek series. So he had to have a twist. He had to have an extra gimmick, and he sold it as almost like a parody.
Right.
And so the first few episodes were that way. And, the comedy element has stayed throughout the series, but more and more in the background.
Right.
Or, you'd have like in an episode, you'd have a different character each time, but one character would have sort of a humorous subplot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the main part of it is pretty heavy sci-fi.
Yeah.
And the characters, are getting better and better as the show goes on.
Yeah, I'm glad that I gave it a chance. I hate to say it because you hear a lot of people say this kind of stuff, and I don't want to necessarily be grouped in with all of them, but I think a lot of the science fiction elements on Orville are more what I would like to see on like Discovery. But Discovery's not doing episodic, stories. They always have some huge overarching universe threat that they have to do every season. And I think that's to their detriment.
I think, it kind of hit its peak in the end of, I guess it was the second season, where Isaac's planet invaded with all the robots. And,
oh, yeah.
I mean, that was epic, like movie material.
Well, they had that one episode where they went to their home planet and they went underground and found all the skeletons of the people who had built the robots. That was really freaky.
As they had taken over. But then that carried over into the new season where you've got half the crew that's prejudiced against Isaac because, he was initially part of that invasion until he turned and basically saved everyone, but people still remember him, as evil Isaac.
Right.
And so that carries through to this whole season.
They did a lot of good work with that storyline, and there was the young pilot who really hated him. I don't remember her name now.
Yeah.
But good stuff.
It's good stuff. All right. So, Larry.
Yeah.
You gotta watch.
I have no skin in the game whatsoever.
You gotta watch Bullet Train, and you gotta watch The Orville.
Every time I've seen some episodes of The Orville, and I always hear like Peter, Lois. So I don't know. It takes me out of the.
All right. Well, we'll bring Larry back in with The Walking Dead, which had its final season this year.
That's right.
Well, last year, I guess.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the build-up and the ending?
It was ready to end. I think, they probably could have ended it a year ago. But yeah, I mean, key characters survived that will, especially those that'll be in new Walking Dead series in the future. The only issue I had was the Rick and Michonne kind of montage building up to their show at the end.
Well, I think it was like all the fans really, really wanted at least Rick to show up in the last episode, and he didn't. So it was kind of the post-credit stuff that they at least showed where he is and what's going on. But I'm looking forward to that and the Daryl series. And
I'll watch it.
And Maggie and Negan. So.
When this last season started and one of the big bads was named the governor, I'm like, wait, didn't we have a character named the governor already?
That's right.
But, so at that point, it's like, well, it's hard for shows to outlive the source material. And I think the comic, ended on in a way and at a time that it was like, okay, it's not enough is enough. But, this is my concern with comic book movies. There's going to come a point in time, and I think we're starting to see some real shitty comic book movies. And it's like, I'm not saying the genre's ready to, be laid to rest for a while, but you think back when Star Wars came out, and then there was Ice Pirates, and then there was, Battle Beyond the Stars, and, all this, Star Wars type space movies. And then, it just, after Return of the Jedi, the stuff just turned to crap, and they kind of, rested it for a while. But, it was a good finale. Looking forward to the new series. It's interesting that they have walkers that can rationalize enough to walk up a ladder or use weapons now.
Turn a doorknob.
But that was a carryover from what was that series with the teenagers? It lasted all of like one season.
World Beyond?
World Beyond. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I didn't hear that when you said it first. So, we'll see. What did you think, Bob?
Yeah. No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I was kind of, yes, they did kill off a major character, but they really held back so that basically most of the cast survived, and it had at least an upbeat ending.
They did kill off a major character, and they did it beautifully, the way that she was able to, just say goodbye, and Eugene was by her side. And that was very touching to me, actually. The man tears hit at that point. So,
but no, I mean, I thought it was good. And then in the middle there, they had Tales of the Walking Dead,
right? Which
are basically a half dozen standalone stories that take place in that universe.
Some of those were good. Some of those were
And of course, Fear the Walking Dead, which I guess will be back.
Yeah.
And they actually brought Madison back. They let Alicia go off into the sunset and then brought Madison back. And now she's, I guess, stuck with Morgan.
Yep.
Kidnapped or captured or whatever. And that's where the season ended. And we'll pick up, I guess, at some point in 2023.
Mayhem will ensue.
Yes. So,
and you abstain from Walking Dead, right?
I stopped walking with the dead years ago, so
okay, all right.
So none of this applies to me.
Fair enough.
All right, then the next thing coming up would be Stranger Things season 4. Have either of you even watched any Stranger Things?
Yes, I've watched all 4 seasons.
Okay,
me too.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. I thought maybe I'd be the lone stranger guy.
Nope, we're strange with you.
All right. I mean, I thought they did fine. I don't know if there's a 5 or a 4 is it.
The 5 is in the works from what I understand.
Okay. Because 4 did end on, an upbeat note.
Right.
They all had their reunion and they're all still alive. And
except for Papa.
Papa?
Papa.
He's alive.
Oh, yeah. You're right. The doctor.
Oh, the doctor. That Papa. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Papa.
Ah, okay. I thought you were talking about her adoptive Papa.
No. I like the introduction of the pizza dude. He was fun.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
You can kind of hide how the kids are now in their 20s, but I can see one more season, another 2 or 3. I don't know about that.
yeah. I mean, it'll kind of be like Happy Days.
Right. Exactly.
Where the cast is playing teenagers into their 30s or whatever. Oh, Millie Bobby Brown, she's 40 now, but in the series, she's 17.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're also kind of getting, it started in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this last season, we're getting towards kind of the end of the 80s. So we'll have to see how the timeline progresses as well if they do a 5th season.
Indeed.
How about the Umbrella Academy?
That was a good one, too.
Season 4. Oh, no, season 3 of the Umbrella Academy.
I don't think I got through more than the 3rd episode of the most recent season. I don't know. I'm just burned out on it or something.
Can we spoil the final episode then? Because I really enjoyed the final episode.
Go ahead, spoil away. This show's all about spoilers, right?
Just that they're in that last piece of reality, and everything's going to shit around them. That visually was stunning, and just the dialogue and the mystery of it really held my attention. I hope they get another season to resolve this.
I would think they would, but you also have Klaus and what he was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically found his power that he could be killed and come back to life over and over and over again.
That was cool.
And it's just the fact that, their father, the founder of the Umbrella Academy, was testing his powers. And just that one episode, he killed him 50, 60 times
Yeah.
just to see how fast he would come back. It's it took 20 minutes. Come on, let's do it again. Oh, you're down to a minute. Keep going.
Yeah.
And they also brought back, I can't remember the character's name, the chimp.
Oh, the butler,
yeah.
Major Domo.
And he's basically off being a tattoo artist in this alternate reality. And I just enjoyed the whole thing. The characters are...
I enjoyed it too.
Let's see. How about The Boys season 4?
Oh, that was a rough one to watch. That's very graphic.
Karen, you watched The Boys or no?
Yes, but I'm starting to feel the same way about The Boys that I did about The Walking Dead. That it's a little too much for me, and there's nobody. It's there's almost nobody likable anymore on the show. So I don't know if I'll be watching any more of it.
Well, I enjoyed the introduction of Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy.
Yeah, that was
the fact that he's a superhero like Captain America, except he's into broads and booze and coke.
And he's like a nuclear bomb too, right?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean that's probably the highlight for me of the season.
That's a show that's hard to watch, but it is interesting, and then the parallels to Donald Trump was just scary, and then Trump a couple of weeks or months ago comes out with these trading cards where he's like a supreme, I'm like, oh my God, you talk about art imitating reality or
Reality imitating art.
But yeah. But anyway, will I watch the next season? Of course. Hopefully they don't have like superhero sexcapades like this last one. That was just really, really too much. But
well, I think that was the Soldier Boy influence.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. What do we got? Star Trek Discovery season 4.
That was good. Well, parts of it were good.
I think it was kind of more far-reaching than some of the other ones.
Yeah. The whole idea of trying to rebuild the Federation, I think, is what I like. Anything with Saru, I like. Because I'm just such a diehard Trekkie. I mean, I ended up watching all the seasons of Enterprise just because I'm a Trekkie. I'll grin and bear Discovery.
Well,
yeah, I can barely remember season 4 because I stopped watching after like 3 or 4 episodes, and then I forced myself to go back. And I don't know. There's not a lot in Discovery that resonates for me. But
well,
I don't think it's being made for me. So,
what if we went to the other side of the dial to Strange New Worlds?
That was I really enjoyed that for obvious reasons. Anson Mount is just a phenomenal Captain Pike.
Yeah, but his hair is getting so damn tall now.
Some episodes it wasn't that bad. I don't know what they were thinking.
That captain, he's like 10 foot tall. And that's like 5 foot of hair.
It's interesting to me that, he knows his fate. He knows when it will happen, where it will happen, the names of the people that, he's with, that he saves. And they kind of play on that a little in the series.
Well, they had that one episode where he was basically transported into that alternate reality, right. And he was able to change things, and he tried and couldn't. And I think that's when he accepted his fate, that yes, I'm going to be a vegetable in a wheelchair, but I'm going to save 1 for yes and 2 for no.
Yeah, so I liked it. I look forward to the next season. Like I said, some episodes were better than others. I don't really enjoy what they're doing with the relationship between Spock and T'Pring. I don't really care for, and nothing against the actress, but Nurse Chapel is not the Nurse Chapel that I grew up watching. Uhura, I can stand and tolerate, but again, some of the stories that they're developing this character, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you on all those things. It's this need to tinker with established history or what do you want to call it? I don't like to use canon, but it's like Nurse Chapel. The personality is completely different. Why do that? Why not just bring on another character? There's no reason to have the character there and call her Nurse Chapel when she doesn't behave at all like that character.
Well, that's the thing, because this is basically a prequel to the original series. So it's almost like they have to be careful, A, not to leapfrog the series, and B, because, one of the main antagonists were the Gorn, right?
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
And it's like, as far as we knew, the first encounter with the Gorn was Kirk on the planet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So otherwise, he'd be on that planet and go, "Oh, it's a Gorn,"
But Enterprise played with Noonien Sung. They played with the Borg, and they tried to do it in sneaky little,
Yeah,
ways.
But this wasn't sneaky ways. This was like a Gorn invasion.
Well, they have a member of the crew who has it's like, oh yeah, my ancestor, was a despot and was genetically altered. It's like, so Spock knew this when they had Khan come on board. It just doesn't make any sense. These people want to go in and monkey with stuff.
And the T'Pring thing you were mentioning, it's like in Star Trek in the original series, it almost sounded like they hadn't seen each other since they were kids. And,
Right.
You know,
because if they had, why would he be looking at a picture of a 7-year-old? That's just creepy. So it's like
she hit her height at 7 years old. I tell you, that was her
people, peak. They get like, it seems like they watch like 4 or 5 episodes of the original series and then think like, oh, I know everything I need to know to write the show. This don't come up with new stuff when you want to just build a show off of fan service, right? But you don't really understand the property well enough to even do fan service. It's I don't know. It annoys the hell out of me. And it's not to say there isn't some good stuff. I think Anson Mount is the best thing about that show because he's a really good actor and he comes across well. But all the other stuff is just irritating.
I mean, I will say Spock's kind of growing on me. I wasn't really a fan of him being Spock in Discovery, but in Strange New Worlds, maybe I'm just getting used to it. But
he's Gregory Peck's grandson. Did I mention that before?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, he has a lineage. Yeah.
That episode, the whole thing with Dr. Mabenga and his daughter and using the transporter until he can figure out how to cure her, that was just touched my heart. How they resolved it, I didn't really care for that. We'll just, create this being that she becomes and she's radiant now. And I'm like, I don't know. That kind of pissed me off a little. I invested all that time and emotion and then...
Well, that just seemed like the way to get her out of the series. Oh, we got to get rid of this character, so off she goes. She's an omnipotent being now. So let's see. Moving on.
I'll watch the second season and hopefully it gets better and they learn from their mistakes and we'll see.
Well, they have to see them as mistakes to begin with. They may not. How about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys.
No, I mean, as far as Star Wars series go, I enjoyed it.
Didn't we cover it?
Yeah, we did a whole episode on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
so go back and listen to that.
I don't know that it was a series anyone needed or wanted. There were aspects of it that I enjoyed. But yeah, it's sort of like, well, did it make sense that any of that happened? Probably not. But I don't know. There were parts of it I enjoyed.
And then that brings us to the one that I watched maybe 4 episodes and just said, oh, God, I need my life back, was Andor.
Oh.
Now, you guys can talk about Andor all you want. I gave up.
I watched the whole thing, but it was very tough for me. The pacing was really slow, I thought. And I didn't really care about any of the characters. So there were moments I thought that were interesting. But overall, it was kind of tough going.
I enjoyed it. I appreciate what they tried to put out. I didn't fall in love with any of the characters, but I don't think the characters were designed or written for us to. No, I won't say because you want to have people invest time, but they're not really likable people. They're starting a rebellion, for different reasons. And I guess part of the fun for me of watching the series was, do I understand or agree with those reasons? And, some are nefarious, some owe money, some, politicians. And I like that it's ballsy. They have no Wookiees, no Jedi. It's just versions of normal folk saying enough is enough and trying to figure out what to do about it. So I'll watch the second season. I'm sure a second season will come out, and perhaps the pacing will pick up a little more. I will give you that, Karen. The pacing, I have fallen asleep on several episodes and had to pick up again later on. But
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
That's my problem too.
I think that was happening to me on all 4 of the first episodes, so I just said, okay, enough is enough. All right, then we go back to the MCU for Moon Knight. I think we did at least a partial episode on Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, that was, maybe a click or two above Andor for me. It would have been nice if Moon Knight was actually in Moon Knight.
It was fun, but I don't have much more to add from before. I mean, if they do have a second season, I'll watch it. I think the last 10 minutes of the last episode was a lot more interesting than the entire series up to that point. But that's just me.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And the other MCU was She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Well, and Ms. Marvel, and I would say, I don't know. Yeah, She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah, Ms. Marvel. Well, I totally forgot about that.
Ms. Marvel, I watched for podcast purposes, just in case you guys decided you loved it and we were going to talk about it.
Joke's on you.
But Karen said this earlier. Ms. Marvel was not written for me. So I appreciated what they tried to do with Ms. Marvel, and kudos to the team that worked on that. She-Hulk I enjoyed a lot more than I should have. It was just quirky and funny, and I like what they did in bringing in Daredevil. Oh, and the Abomination. I enjoyed that storyline a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, She-Hulk was okay. I did not like the last episode. I thought there was definitely better ways they could have wrapped it up. But I did enjoy bringing in Daredevil. Love the Netflix series. So he's nothing like he was in the Netflix series, but it's nice to see Charlie Cox back as Daredevil.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't have much to add. They were just sort of middling shows for me. I didn't, get a lot of excitement out of any of the MCU shows this year. And now I can't recall if it was before we started recording or after, but I think the best MCU show goes back to Hawkeye. That was the last show I really enjoyed from them on TV.
I can see that.
Yeah, me too.
And now, I had like 4 other series on here, but Westworld season 4. Anyone watch that?
Yes.
Yeah, and I need to rewatch. That series. There was so much going on, and I'm very sad and disappointed that there will not be a continuation of the series. Because
then it might have all made sense, maybe somehow.
Well, then they'd have to do Future World, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Future
maybe
World,
it's better that we're left lost.
That was the thing about that show. Like, the first season was really good. It got kind of, I don't know, maybe up its own ass, the second and third seasons. And then I felt like the fourth season was starting to come around. So maybe that, the fifth, they would be able to wrap it all up. Yeah. But now they, we're canceling it. So I don't know. But that show, and then, of course, the infamous Raised by Wolves, were those kind of shows that always made me think about stuff. So I kind of like it when a show gives me that kind of material where the next day I'll be going like, well, what did that mean? And what were they talking about? Was there something else behind what they were saying? And so at least with Westworld and Raised by Wolves, and I don't know if I can think of anything else, at least I felt like they were doing some interesting things that left me thinking.
Well said.
Has anyone watched Willow?
No.
Yeah, yes, I have. You know what?
I haven't, so go ahead.
I saw the Willow movie when it came out and never seen it again. I have no investment in Willow, the character, or anything else in the show. I turned the first episode on one night when I was particularly tired, and watched it, and like I have enjoyed watching it because it's just like totally disposable. I don't care about it or what happens in it. It's really awful. So I feel like I can just kind of watch it and I don't care, and that's fine. So that's not a ringing endorsement by any means. But it's sort of like nice to have a show where I'm not sitting there nitpicking it going, well, that doesn't make any sense because in Spider-Man 138, blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, that's not how the Enterprise works. Or blah, blah, blah. I have no investment, so I can't be my usual, you know, jerky self. I just sit there and go, oh, now he's running over a bridge and he's shooting rays through his little piece of stick, and that's great. Okay, whatever. So I don't get to nitpick anything or think about anything. I just accept
the
it.
engine room can't be that big.
The engine room can't look like that. It looks like a brewery.
It's got a little stick, and I don't care how big or little it is. It's just a stick.
So Willow is the perfect Karen Walker TV show.
Willow is the perfect disposable, non-thinking entertainment because I don't care about any of it. And what's funny is I was looking at some things online, and there were apparently people who are big Willow fans, and they were so pissed off about what was going on in the series. And they were like,
there you go.
Well, this isn't right because you remember that in the land of Hoof Kapoo, this thing happened, and you can't. I thought, oh, that's how I am. That's what's wrong with me.
That's like casual fans of Star Trek watching these series and wondering, what's Karen talking about?
You can't transport a hoobajube. That's funny.
All right, and the last one is Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power, which I don't think anyone has watched. Oh, but there is one more.
2 episodes.
Oh, you did? Okay.
3. They're good. I just we started moving, and so I stopped watching it. So now that we're finished moving, we're going to get back into it.
I don't know. I was so bored by the movies that I can't bring myself to watch more of that kind of stuff.
But they may have sticks, and things will shoot out of the sticks, Bob.
Yeah, well, you know. I almost forgot. Peacemaker.
Oh, hold on, Karen. Have you watched?
No, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, the books, the movies, but when I saw they had Galadriel in armor with a sword, I was like, I'm out. That's all I have to say.
Well, she's rotoscoped, if that helps.
Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, you can move on now.
Peacemaker.
I saw 1 episode, but that's it so far.
The first episode, I assume?
Yeah.
You know, Bob, Karen, I can't tell you guys why I love that series so much. The dialogue, the acting. I'm not a big John Cena fan by any stretch of the imagination, but it speaks to me. I really enjoy the theme song, you know, them dancing in the beginning, and it makes no sense, but the story was good. The ending was fantastic. I hope this is not a casualty of the new DCU. But if it is, so be it. I loved it so much, I bought the Blu-ray. So
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Physical media.
Amazing.
If we ever do a video version of the show, I want us to do the intro dance.
I want us to do the Space 1999 thing where everybody turns. Anyway.
Well, speaking of a dance, I forgot one series, and that would be Wednesday.
Oh, wait, that was it. Yeah, that came out 2022. That was fun. Yeah. It was a good series.
No, I had a lot of fun with that series. I thought the actress did a great job as Wednesday. You know, Uncle Fester was all the characters were good. Much better than Rob Zombie's Munsters take.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. I wanted to like the Munsters more than I did, but
the Munsters, I love the original series, and this one kind of sucked on so many levels.
Yeah.
I didn't see either of those.
Wednesday would be a good thing to check out. Very much the same type of vibe as The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina,
which I also did not see.
Oh, another one worth watching.
But I will give a shout out to What We Do in the Shadows, which this last season was just utterly hilarious.
I agree. I love that series. We've talked about it before. Highly recommend it. We forgot Werewolf by Midnight.
By night.
Sorry.
See, it was that was like a special, much like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. So I couldn't categorize that as a movie or a TV series, but it was enjoyable.
It was cool.
A cool
good story,
throwback.
Good effects. Michael Giacchino, first directorial debut, and the making of is a lot of fun. His brother did the making of, and they did home movies as kids, and those home movies are hilarious. So I would recommend that also. So I'm thinking that's the end of our...
I think that covers everything.
2022. Let me ask you guys, are there any shows or things that you, from the past, not necessarily 2022, that you binged in your off time?
Well, yeah. Debbie and I binged our way through the Netflix Daredevil because she hadn't seen it.
Nice.
We recently finished that as of a few nights ago.
Nice. That's a good series. Yours truly, Kino Lorber. If you guys haven't checked them out, check them out. They come out with a lot of different DVDs and Blu-rays and special editions. They did a beautiful job on the Night Stalker series. But the
no one can see what we're doing.
I know you guys. Rod Serling's Night Gallery. They came out with Blu-ray of all 3 seasons, and they have a lot of guests on there doing commentary. So I've kind of been going back and forth with that during downtime. Karen?
Well, I got blasted away from the Earth as the nuclear dumps exploded on the moon, and I've been stuck on Moonbase Alpha for some insane reason. Well, I know exactly why, because I listened to the Inglorious Trexperts podcast, and it seems like half the time those guys are talking about Space 1999. So I started watching Space 1999. So I've been binging that when I can.
God, I remember when Space 1999 came out. And it was sort of like Star Trek was big in syndication. And there was rumors of a new series, rumors of a movie. Nothing was happening. And then here came Space 1999.
Yep.
And that was like the big thing back then.
I love the ship, the Eagle One, but I could not get into that series.
I couldn't either as a kid, and now that I'm watching it, it's like the whole tone is so completely different from Star Trek, but it's so very 70s because it's like basically these people are completely helpless and they're being shot through space and things just happen to them. They have no control really over their fate.
Well, you can't really steer a moon.
You can't steer the moon much, There's some gravitational things that they can do. And the thing is, when I was a kid, too, I was such a little, smarty pants. I was like, well, the moon couldn't possibly go so fast that it could go through other solar systems. And now I'm just like, it's okay, whatever. It's like Willow and his little stick. It's fine. Let's not worry about it. So,
well, I think the funny thing about Space 1999 was, Jerry Anderson got done with UFO.
Right.
And Lord Lou Grade, who had been financing all the Supermarination shows and UFO and everything else, he and the BBC said, okay. I mean, originally he wanted to do a second season of UFO. And they said, well, no, you can do something like UFO, but it can't take place on Earth. We don't want it taking place on Earth. So he's like, okay, well, I'll put it on the moon and blow it out of orbit. So No episode could even possibly take place on Earth.
At first he was saying, well, I'll blow up Earth. And that's a little too much. Let's just blow the moon out of orbit. And we could easily do a show on this and all the things. It was going to be a half-hour show. Then it became an hour show. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
But he also basically hired Martin Landau and Barbara Bain based on Mission Impossible.
Right.
And then when they got over there to start the show, he didn't realize there was so much time between, what was it, 10 years or something? 10, 12 years between Mission Impossible and Space 1999? And Jerry Anderson was, oh, God, they're so old.
That's funny.
So,
well,
I think that covers everything.
That covers a lot.
We still have more show to give our listeners. As of the recording of this show, we heard of the tragic news that Hawkeye himself, Jeremy Renner, was in an accident. And we wish him well.
A
Bob,
tragic snowplow/snowcat accident, right?
Okay.
Somehow he was plowing the street in front of his Tahoe home and somehow got his leg stuck underneath the snowplow and bled profusely. Luckily, one neighbor was a doctor and was able to run over and put on a tourniquet and, keep him alive basically until paramedics could get there. As of this recording, he's still in the hospital in critical but stable condition. I don't know how you can be critical but stable, but hey, it's touch and go now. I mean, we'll see what the future holds for Jeremy Renner.
We wish him well.
This affects his career.
Yeah. Moving on, it is time for our censor sweep, where one of your crew members from Planet 8 shares a item that we have received or purchased. And this episode, all 3 crew members will be sharing an item that we received over the Christmas holiday. In keeping with, actually, no. Let's start off with Chief Engineer Bob. Bob, what do you got for us?
I have to be in keeping with something?
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil what Karen.
Yeah, I got nothing that had anything to do with anything we spoke about in this episode, but I got 3 cool things. One from Mrs. Chief Engineer, Lieutenant Debbie. Something else that happened this last year. Debbie and I got married.
Yay! And
she bought me a X Plus Gamera 1999, so that kind of has something to do with what we're talking about. And that was the Gamera from Gamera 3. Really impressive 30-centimeter figure. Nice. Very cool, very detailed. My friend Kevin D'Antonio got me a X Plus D for real Godzilla 73, which was the Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Megalon. So that was really cool. And then my stepson Michael got me a Godzilla mug, which was like an Amazon version. So it wasn't like the Geeky Tiki mug or the Mondo mug, but it is a very cool Godzilla mug, sort of a Millennium Godzilla. So it was a very kaiju Christmas this year.
Kaiju Christmas, the Johnson house. My friend Walkie, did you have something of interest that you wanted to?
I might have one thing of interest that I'm very interested in if no one else is interested in. I got for myself a Christmas present, which is the Amazing Space 1999 Moonbase Alpha Technical Operations Manual Post-Breakaway Edition. And pretty much anything you ever wanted to know about Moonbase Alpha, the Eagles, the personnel, why they have different colored sleeves on their uniforms, all of it. It's there. So if you have to rendezvous with Moonbase Alpha, you will be prepared to live, work, and do whatever else on Moonbase Alpha. It's actually very nice. I made my first ever unboxing video. It's quite dreadful. I used my phone, and so there's shadows all over the images and so forth, but I put it up on my YouTube. It's on my Twitter feed. But it's a really, really nice book. So, it's from the Anderson Company.
Is there a pre-breakaway version?
There is apparently pre-breakaway version, only in our minds.
That would be the UFO technical manual.
They do make a UFO technical manual, too.
Now that I might have to get.
I might have to put out some simoleons for that. But anyway.
I tell you, that unboxing was so influential. Your mission commander popped out some cash, and not having watched the series for 30 plus years, ordered said technical manual.
Oh my God!
Beautiful pictures.
I feel so left out.
Look, I went to the Jerry Anderson website, and everything's sold out. They had this one version. I think it was like 140 versions were made where it's in a briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the significance of it being in a briefcase because, again, I haven't watched the series in forever. Karen, can you enlighten us?
Well, it's in like a very 70s looking plastic case. And then it has like anti-radiation pills, which I think were candy, and some other little stuff in there.
Little tchotchkes. And
there's a lot of stuff sold out on that site. There was actually something there that I thought about getting you for Christmas, but it was sold out. And then that's how I saw the manual, and I was kind of like,
ooh. Oh. Well, there you go. Okay, so yours truly, your mission commander, a while ago picked up Rod Serling's Night Gallery and After Hours Tour. This is by Scott Skelton and Jim Benson. And, this is back in 1999, and it's about 360 some odd pages. And it's a great reference book for Night Gallery fans. Now, Kickstarter in 2022, there was a Kickstarter by the good folks at Creature Features. And these are the folks down in Burbank. And they offered Rod Serling's Night Gallery and After Hour Tour a 50th anniversary retrospect. And I'll make sure Karen gets a picture of this bad boy. This book is chock full of pictures and behind the scenes stills, 812 pages. It is a hardback. I have a limited edition version. This is number 40 of 300, where the authors signed this book. And
holy free holies!
Oh, I swear, Jasmine just about collapsed when she saw how much I kicked into the Kickstarter for this. But I am very happy with this book. If you're a fan of the Night Gallery, they have the non-Dilly Deluxe version for like $40 if you go to the Creature Features website. They came out with another book on Kickstarter about 2 years ago, and this was Rod Serling's Night Gallery, The Art of Darkness, which is a great book. I think I spoke about it before. And that's just each of the paintings from Night Gallery are in that book. But anyway, that's what your mission commander has to share with you guys. All right, this was a lot of fun. A little longer than our normal episodes, but that's cool. Look, everyone who has been with us since the start, listeners and friends and fans, we appreciate you guys tuning in each and every episode. We have some good things planned for 2023. We have some fun episodes coming up. Make sure you follow our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, comment, share with us some of the things that you liked in the last year, some of the things that you're looking forward to in 2023. We really do appreciate you guys. Stay healthy. looking forward to, like I said, good things in 2023. Bob and Karen, would you like to add anything before we sign off?
Oh,
Okay.
Happy New Year. No, I basically, one goal I think we should have for 2023 and Planet 8 would be to get, we take our audio episodes, we put them on YouTube, and we throw some graphics over them. But, if you want to see our ugly mugs up there, then click subscribe. We got to get up to 1,000 subscribers so we can do more video type stuff on YouTube.
Oh, man, that opens up, some nice perks on YouTube for us if we can get up there.
So go there, get your friends to go there. Get yourself like 5 or 6 different email addresses and just go and subscribe 5 or 6 times.
There you go. All right. Well, that brings this episode to a close. Again, we appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Until we meet again, this is Planet 8 signing off. Peace out.
On that note, this will conclude this transmission from Planet 8. We would like to thank all of our intergalactic audience for listening. Be sure to head on over to our website at www.planet8podcast.com, where you can get more information on this episode's topic.
For more conversation, find us on Twitter at Planet8Cast.
Or on Facebook at facebook.com/Planet8Podcast.
We want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every episode. We look forward to your input and opinions. Until next time, this is Planet 8 signing off. End transmission.
By George, he's got it. It is the end.
Get on with it. Yes, get over